So, UFC Fight Night, USMAN versus Buckley just started, and boy oh boy was this one a stinker. We're gonna be hopping into it. I'm gonna be hopping around a little bit because some of these fights, we're gonna be hopping over a couple of fights, yeah, because some of them were absolute stinkers. When I say like absolute stinkers, I mean absolute stinkers, and we're gonna be talking about that. And to be honest, it had hopes, man. I had hopes because the card didn't start off that terrible. You know, it really didn't start off that terrible, but as it progressed throughout the night, some people just couldn't carry the momentum that other people set, and you know what? Let's just get into it. We're gonna be talking about it anyway, so let's just get into it, I guess. So, starting off with Jamie Lynn Hoth versus Vanessa blah blah blah. Okay, the Demopulus. Sorry, what the fuck is her name? I picked Vanessa Demopulus to win, but boy, was I wrong. Boy, oh boy, was I wrong. Let's just say I did not start this card very well. Okay? And I really thought that Vanessa, well, to be honest, I didn't really think. I just picked her because she looked a little bit better. But Jamie Lynn Hoth put it on her. She didn't really give her a chance. She was just imposing her will, really. The bigger girl, long rangey, just like, and even when they went to the ground, she didn't like. They didn't go to. I don't know how to explain that, man. She just imposed her will. There was nothing really to. There's no beating around the bush with that one, and she just long rangey, touching her. Didn't even give her a chance in the stand up at all, and yeah, I think I don't know how much. I don't know what else you can even say about that one, man. Philly, Philly, Philly. Or was I wrong on this one too? Because I really thought that Andrew was gonna do something. I had some hopes, not crazy hopes, because looking at Ange, right? You would think genetically he's gonna put it on people, right? And I keep making the mistake with this guy, man. I'm looking at him like, this guy, genetically, he's a freak. And you would think that. But as soon as you start to like put it on him a little bit, he wilts immediately, man. Like he just buckles immediately. I don't remember exactly who I picked for this one. I think I think I went Ange. I don't remember exactly because I keep falling for his trap of looking like an absolute specimen, and then he just goes in there and does nothing, which still, whatever, man. But yeah, Phil put it on him, man, really, and he does his best work against the cage. Had him up against the cage, doing some dirty work on him, man, just like with the shoulder hits, and as soon as he starts to like touch Phil away, he doesn't like pause. Phil, and he wilts immediately, man. He doesn't stand up to it very long, like, and then he looked like he was trying, but then Phil just put it on him and put him away, man. So yeah, it wasn't that. It wasn't even. It wasn't even that. It wasn't that bad of a fight, but it wasn't great either. You know. But it wasn't. It wasn't bad by any means. That was a good fight. Ha, this one. I was really hoping Cameron Smotherman could put it over on Ricky Simone. I was really hoping because Cameron, like, bro, I keep having hopes for Cameron because you know he wants to strike, and I want to give the strikers more of a chance because I'm so sick and tired of the grappling heavy, hold you down. Like as a a somewhat hardcore fan, I wouldn't say I'm hardcore. I'm getting back into it now, but as a somewhat hardcore fan, I want to see more striking and less holding down unless it's like the main event. We're gonna be getting to that. But like this Ricky Simone style just holding you down, not really doing any damage on the top, to be honest, just gaining control points. Like just stacking up control points throughout the round is kind of annoying, man. And at some point throughout the match, I think it was in the second round when Cameron Smotherman had he had like when Ricky Simone had like Cameron's back, had his hands like behind his back. He looked at him and said, "You're under arrest." And Cameron Smotherman looked at him and said, "Bro, that's race." I don't really think he meant it in that way. I really don't think that Ricky Simone meant it that way. But this card, when it comes to like jokes, this card has jokes. I'll give it that. It really had some memes in there, man. Because I don't think Ricky meant it in that way. but for some reason Cameron like just played it off, and he was trying to talk to his shit to Ricky throughout the fight, but Ricky was just dominant, man. Held him down as soon as Cameron started to hit him away. He didn't like. He was just shoot. He had like a really good base, especially when he had Cameron down. He was very top heavy on him. Cameron couldn't really make much progress when it comes to like getting up. And I don't understand how you're this high level and you can't understand that. Okay, a guy shoots at you and he has you pressed against the cage. Dig your underhooks, dig one overhook, one underhook, and try to at least turn the guy off. Don't just half sprawl yourself and just sit there and just like not fully turn it over. Like, I don't know, man. But we go. Some guys, I one dimensional games, and we're still seeing that in the UFC today. So let's move on. Cody Durden. Um, I, eh, do I really care? Nah, I really don't. Honestly, I think I picked Cody to win this one, but forget what they put it on him, bro. Whatever. This was a fight that I had somewhat high hopes for, and it did not disappoint. Um, freaking I think I did say this too. I said that as soon as Chris comes up against someone that will not completely shy away from him, like even if they move back, they're gonna stand their ground with him, and that has real knockout power. He always wilts against these guys, and this time he didn't even have time to wilt because Malcolm just sent him to the shadow realm, man. Like it was like I think if I'm not mistaken, it was a left hook. I think I don't remember the knockout exactly, but throughout the fight, Chris just kept trying to like he kept trying to impose his will, and each time Cameron would just step back and try to give him a left counter. But at one point, Cameron was starting to like not Cameron, Malcolm was trying to wing. He was starting to wing a lot of shots because I think he saw the openings for the knockout a little bit too easy. Like it happens with strikers sometimes, right? Whenever you start seeing a guy doing blatantly bad stuff, and you're like, I can get him. You get angsty because you're like, I can get him out of here because dude is shooting like just walking me down. Hands aren't really high, and even when I do hit him, it's going right around his guard. And freaking Chris he's just walking him down. Freaking like every time he like throws anything, man. He has his front guards and he takes straight shots really well, but he just doesn't cover the side of his head for some reason, man. So even so, yeah. I think Cameron just faked the kick and just came straight, or just faked the kick and came with the hook and then with the straight and just caught him up against the cage and like or in the middle. I don't remember exactly, but I remember him faking the kick. And I said when you can set a guy up, especially when he already wasn't covering the side of his head, he was only covering and taking straight shots, right? And then you fake, and he thinks he's gonna. And to Malcolm's credit, he's been setting up the mid kick the whole fight. The whole fight, he's just been blasting the mid range kicks, right, to the mid section. So when Malcolm just even just hinted at the kick, I think Chris was just like, yeah, I don't need another one of those. So let me just try to at least like lower my guard a little bit and at least try to like parry across or whatever. And he just freaking Malcolm just stepped through, man, and put him away. But yeah, I did get that pick correct. I think I got that one correct. I think that might be the only one I got correct so far, actually. Um, this fight, God, I don't want to talk about this either, but I'm just gonna talk about it because of the freaking snooze fest that it is, right? Because I don't understand, right? How, bro, I don't understand how in big 2025, right? We're having these two unks battle it out with a supposed grappler and a supposed wannabe striker in Court McGee and a wannabe grappler in freaking Michael Chiesa, right? I don't understand how Chiesa isn't just taking down Court McGee and just moving on, so we can move on with the fight, right? I saw a bunch of people saying I forgot the kid's name. I know exactly who I'm talking about. I'm just blanking right now that the UFC cut because he's being a little douchebag everywhere and crashing cars and shit like that. I forgot the kid. I know exactly. I'm gonna kick myself later for not remembering this. But how these two unks, especially Court McGee, that is just so I don't even know. It's less than one dimensional, man. He's not doing anything, man. He's just walking a one, a two sometimes. Bro, like he's just this is literally all he's doing. A one, a two sometimes, a three sometimes. I doubt if I saw him throw a single uppercut, man. He just does the bare minimum to survive, and it's so boring. And this is one of the things I'm getting so tired of, bro. Because I don't understand how he's on the card. I don't understand, man. I freaking Michael Chiesa should be ashamed of himself too, because he's just working just to keep his analyst job alive, man. Because ever since freaking like ever since Connor threw like freaking Dolly at the bus with Habib and them, he has like he just survives fights. He just shows up just to collect the bag and make sure that his job is secured. Ever since he hasn't sued. Yeah, ever since he didn't sue the USC, I don't know English anymore. I'm getting tired of this shit. But ever since he hasn't sued the USC, right? He just shows up, collects a paycheck, and goes home. And it's getting so boring. I don't want to watch these unks do this shit anymore. Okay, we are tired of this. We are there's so many. I don't know even know who he fights next, but I'm getting tired of this, man. They need to. This can't happen anymore. This shit right here shouldn't be happening. You shouldn't be paying your money to watch this, bro. The most boring, like two unks that has no chance of putting anybody away, just touching and sparring in the middle of the cage. Like I'm tired of it. No, no more. We need to put a foot down on shit like this, man. This one. Ha. I think this one I went against Paul Craig just for the memes, right? But some bro, this is just I don't. He should be kicked. That's all I can say, right? Rodolfo Bellato should be kicked. He really should be kicked because I don't understand how you can at some point during the round, right? When Rodolfo Bellato managed it, I think Craig failed to take down. Rodolfo Bellato ended up on top. Rodolfo tried to lay down some ground and pound, and like Paul Craig, his guard is deadly. You're not gonna want to stay there for too long. So Bellato sat up for a little bit too long, and Paul Craig just yeah, bro. Bellato was like, I don't know if he was trying to out aura or what, right? But he just stayed in that danger zone for a little bit too long, and I don't understand how you can roundhouse kick someone across the neck, right? But you can't up kick them, right? But all I'm saying is Paul Craig just like, oh, you're gonna stand there in front of me. How do what accent does he have? Oh, you it's Scottish accent. I don't know how to do a fucking Scottish accent, man. But Bellato lingered in that little danger zone a little bit too long, man. And Paul Craig just went. Who said the jujitsu guard is not deadly, man? Who? I don't know who said that, but they are sadly mistaken. It's not even the funniest part about this. The funniest part was freaking Rodolfo Bellato looking at the ref because he doesn't speak English that great, right? So I'm not as thinking that he said what. I'm looking like I think he looked at the ref and said, "Hey." I think he legitimately looked over at the ref, right? What side would it have been? It would have been on his left, on his right side, right? I think he legitimately looked at the ref and said, "Eh," and then he's like, the ref looked, and I think they both realized at the same time that it was illegal, right? And which I don't, it shouldn't be, by the way. You shouldn't be able to roundhouse kick someone across the face, but you can't up kick them, but that's for another time. But he looked at the ref and said, and when they both realized that it's illegal, bro laid down and just said, for like God knows how long. And then when he woke up, he's like running against the cage, like, like shuffling against the cage as if someone is like actively trying to kill him. He even went as far as to try to shoot for a single leg on the ref. And we actively saw him look at the ref and said, "Hey," which I don't understand how that's possible, man. I just don't understand how he can be fighting in the UFC and like back in the day, man. Dana White, you would be gone if you did some shit like that back in the day, man. But it just goes to show that Dana doesn't really care about the sport anymore. He really doesn't. He really doesn't. But let's move on. That was just a little bit funny. Let's fight. Alonzo Menifield, bro. versus Umar. Okay, where do I start with that? Sai. This fight was supposed to be a sleeper fight. This was supposed to be the fight that a lot of people were sleeping on. But Umar Sai just opened up and let us know how one-dimensional he is, right? And honestly, Alonzo Manifield showed how like slow he is, that he couldn't adapt to this one-dimensional style, because freaking Umar would just throw the most lazy shots out there. Just a simple check hook straight down the pipe. Check hook straight down the pipe and crash into Alonzo, right? And then they'll be against the cage, he'll do some cage work, and he still lost. He still lost, and to Alonso's credit, right? He was trying to throw some heat, right? And he did outstrike him in a lot of those rounds. But freaking Umar, this could have went either ways, in my opinion. I thought Umar Sai could have won, but it's still in general just a boring fight, and it's just embarrassing for both of them too. Because Umar Sai just showed how one-dimensional his game is, and that's how he lost that. And Alonso just showed how like low IQ he is. The fact that he couldn't adapt and just pass, like just get in there, man. But again, none of us are in the cage. We can sit out here and talk and say, "Oh, this guy's stupid and that guy's stupid," which they would whoop all of our asses. Let's be honest. But this is just a hot take, so I guess I don't know. Let's just move on from that one. This fight, uh, don't really care. Let's just keep it pushing. Honestly, like I said, I'm gonna be skipping over a lot of the fights and getting to the ones that I care about. Um, Cody, Cody Garbrandt. Cody Garbrandt. I remember whose stream I was watching last night. I was watching, I think it was MMA Guru. I was watching somebody's stream, right? And they were like, everybody thinks Cody Garbrandt's an OG, but he's not. He only has like 20, 21 fights. And they're right. I keep in my mind, I think this is a casual thing, right? I think this proves I'm a casual at least, because it, Cody Garbrandt, ever since he had that fight against whatever that guy, bro, I keep forgetting. My bad, the casual takes. But that one fight where he was stunning and he was like shuffling and moving, and they keep doing the Billie Jean thing with it, like, and Billie Jean is not. Yeah, you get it. Copyright incoming for a dead channel or a channel that's not even alive. But yeah, I keep getting brainwashed by that one thing and thinking that Cody's gonna go out there and show a dynamic game when he never does. He never does. It's always the same thing. Lazy kicks. He has the power to get you out of there, but he doesn't have the creativity to switch it up, to find a different way to get you out of there whenever his blitzes don't work. And it's been happening the same. He's lost like what, 4 fights in a row now. Every time he loses, he takes a year and a half off, 2 years off, or whatever. God knows how much, right? And bro, to be honest, right? Ronnie Barcelos, like he, he shouldn't, bro. His head is stuck to one side. He shouldn't he's a crafty vet, yeah, but he shouldn't be beating Cody Garbrandt. He really shouldn't, in my opinion. Cody should have had a more dynamic game. He's been in there with some decent guys. Ronnie Barcelos shouldn't be like, he shouldn't be beating Cody, man, and almost getting him out of there. Like, I think at the end of the second, like, he had Cody like hurt. Like, with seconds left, he hit him with a hard shot. Cody went down and was about to cover up, and then I think someone in his corner yelled like, "You only have like 8 seconds or 13 seconds or something," and then Cody scrambled to get a hold of his leg and survived that round. Like, that should not be happening to Garbrandt. I really think he's not that old, and I think at this point he should just retire. Possibly the worst champion to ever have been a champion in the UFC based off of his performance after, like, bro, that needs to get fixed, man. The one-dimensional game. He has the power to get you out of there, but once like that you figure out, and props to Ronnie Barcelos, because he kind of adapted. He realized that the game isn't evolving, and if I get it, make it a little bit more dirty and a little bit more pressure-wise, and don't give Cody the chance to throw his one-dimensional strikes. He's gonna like, he doesn't have much else to offer, and he just worked with that, man. So props to Ronnie, I guess. I doubt if we're even gonna see him fight again, but because like I don't know what hole they dug him up out of, but Let's keep it pushing, right? So Edmund Shavazian versus Andre Petrowski. Yeah, Petrowski, however you say his name, right? Petrowski. Good fight. Not bad at all. I mean, showing that he has like a really. I don't understand how you're freaking Andre Petrowski and you go in there knowing you're a grappler and you know that Edmund does not want to grapple with you. He doesn't really, he just wants to strike, and God, his ribs keep freaking me out, but he doesn't want to strike, right? You know this. Why are you going? And even okay, say for instance you go in there and you know he wants to strike, right? And you're like, okay, let me test it. Let me Bilal Muhammad and show my Canelo hands, right? And it doesn't work in the first round. Why keep doing it for two more rounds? Hmm? Why? Why keep doing it for two more rounds if it's not working? Shoot the takedowns, man. I think he shot one takedown in the third and it worked, right? The whole time he's just getting pieced up in the range. Every time he enters into the void, he just gets fired upon and he just doesn't learn. He keeps doing the same entries and getting pieced up by freaking Edmund. And props to Edmund, man. Beautiful kicks up the middle, a nice straight, and he was handling it pretty well, man. It wasn't even though I was looking at his ribs the whole time, but props to him, man. It's not a bad performance at all. It's more it looks more worse. Blah, is that a word? Fuck. It looks worse on Andre Petrowski's side that he couldn't like find a way at least to a takedown, man. Like it just looks bad on his part, in my opinion, because don't get me wrong, Edmund was out pointing him, and did look pretty sharp in his striking, right? But you could have adapted to that because I think if you put like a little bit of pressure and managed to get him to back up at all, right? Like consistently at all and cut off the cage a little bit more to shoot your takedowns. I think his takedowns are open. I really think the takedowns are open. But as soon as he realized that freaking Andre Petrosky wasn't gonna shoot any takedowns, that led him to opening up a lot more. So I guess that's on Andre's fault. Andre's blah, whatever. Let's move on. Doug Rose. Doug Rose. She got it done. You know, it wasn't anything. Honestly, I didn't mind watching the fight. Did not mind watching the fight. Rose needs to grow her hair out back though. She looks like God. I'm getting tired of the haircut, bro. She needs to grow it back out. She's actually not bad looking. She needs to get the hair grown back out. But Rose, like, she started to wilt a little bit because she had beautiful takedowns, and when she got the takedowns and ended up on top, she looked strong and she controlled most of her rounds on top, right? And she made it look. And she even dropped Miranda at what round was it? I think it was the second round she dropped Miranda, but for some reason decided to just like get in on like I don't know why she didn't let her stand back up. She got in, got some ground and pound off. I don't know why she just let her like engage in the grappling too much with her. But it wasn't that boring of a fight. Rose showed that she had like faster hands. She just had faster hands throughout. Honestly, she was keeping her strikes when she did strike a lot of range. And as soon as she got damaged at all or felt she was in like Miranda was gaining any momentum, she just shot her takedowns. She would get them mostly at will. So it wasn't like a crazy dominant performance, but it wasn't a bad one either. You know. So yeah, props to Rose. Good win. Good win. Now into the main event because oof, 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 oof. Bro, get this shit off my screen, man. Okay, so into the main event: Kamaru Usman versus Joaquin Buckley. Good fight, really good fight. Kamaru, as you guys know, is one of my favorite fighters in my top 10 for sure. Favorite fighters, right? He's one of the reasons that I started to pay attention to MMA. Have always liked the sport, always been watching it, but Usman's one of the reasons why I started getting into it. You know, and he was dominant, man. This was a very dominant performance. Like, it honestly surprised me. And here's the thing, right? I knew Usman was gonna wrestle as soon. If you go back and watch the entrance to the fight, right? You saw Usman doing this. You could see him already, right? As soon as he was walking in, right, into the cage. That was his warm up. His warm up wasn't this. No, That literally, as soon as he came in, I saw, wait a minute. As soon as I saw him just like moving into his takedowns, right? I was like, I think Usman's gonna wrestle. And I don't think if Joaquim is gonna be ready for it. That's literally, I wish I was streaming because I don't want anyone to think I'm lying. But as soon as I saw Usman do that, I'm like, he's going in there to wrestle. And props to Joaquim, right? He didn't seem to get like extremely gassed out like a lot of fighters would have against that like dominant grappling against Usman, right? With Usman, right? Very top heavy, just draining grappling, right? But Usman, he is from the fourth to the third, really, he got his takedowns at will. Like I think he was 0 for, I think it was like 0 for, I think he was 0 for 3 and 0 just up to round three in takedowns. He just shot his takedowns, got him at will. And the thing with that, because normally I'm complaining about wrestling, right? But the thing with Usman's wrestling, right? He doesn't just settle when he gets on top. He's always trying to progress it, raining down elbows. It's not the most dominant like Hamzat Chimaev. Well, actually not, because Hamzat flip flops. There's no in between for Hamzat with his wrestling when he's on top, right? It's either he's on top trying to kill you, or he's just settling because he's gassed, right? So there's no in between of work. But Usman, he kind of gets in that 70 to 85% always working. You know, like 65 to 85% range of always constant pressure. You even when even props to Joaquim, right? Because he kept moving. He never really settled. Usman always had to work to get the leg ties, pull him back down. Buckley was always trying to get up, right? But Usman was just more dominant. Like he never let up for a second. Because I think Usman realized if I let up for a second, this kid's getting up, right? So the whole time he's just top heavy, raining down short, not opening up too much to give Buckley a chance to expose, just keeping the head down, short elbows. He cut Buckley open in the first round or the second round, right? When they did get up, Usman did look a little bit lackluster on the feet with striking, right? But I think it's because he realized that Buckley was gonna he could put him away if he connects. And Buckley was not shying away from Usman's strikes. He didn't really. I won't say he won't care because Usman did touch him a little bit, and you see Buckley like she back off and like blink and like shake his like not shake his head, but he's like okay, like he gained a little bit more respect. But Usman looked dominant, man. Like I think if this was the Usman that showed up against Leon Edwards would not have beaten him the second time. Usman and like he kept saying get this monkey off my back. I think he got it off tonight. Now Usman should go back. I think he needs to go get some stem cells in his knees if that shit. I don't know if that shit really works, but can you imagine if Usman had good knees? Because he does seem to get like a little bit slower, right? Because you could see at the end of the first or the second, he was trying to impose his will when he was like standing over Joaquim after the end of the round, right? And I think the ref kind of like a combination of the ref easing him off and Joaquim just getting up, and Usman fell, and he does seem to be falling over a lot more, right? Like bad steps, he's stumbling a lot. He doesn't seem to be as stable. So I really think he should take a couple months and get some stem cells in those knees, right? See if there's anything that could improve it for a little bit more. But I think the title run begins now, man. And I think either we should see him fight we should either see him fight freaking what's the guy's name? I think we should either get to see him fight Islam or Bilal Muhammad. That's what I would. Bilal Muhammad. God, I'm not memeing. I genuinely did forget his name. I'm on my on moms. I really did forget his name for a second. But I think he should. I don't think, or I think he should fight the winner of JDM versus Islam, and but I don't think he should get a title shot right away. I think Usman should go back and like come back, go take a little bit more time. Let's say give Usman. Let's see Usman in December or January next year, right? Take some time, get some physical therapy on those knees. See if you can improve it by a little bit to where you're not like in pain fighting. I don't know. I don't know if he's in pain, but I just don't want to see Usman. I need him to. I need to be able to see some lateral movement from Usman, not just front and back. You know, I need to see him getting to cutting off the cage because that's when Usman does his best work. Was when he was cutting off the cage, where he can step off angle off the left and fire the right down the middle, or just catch you moving off and just throw a loop in left, right, and just like because I don't see that jab popping out anymore. You know, I don't see the snappiness and the straights and the jabs anymore. His shots are more loopy. You know, so I'm contributing that to a combination of him doing a lot more wrestling because I think that's what he is. I think he already had in his mind, I'm not gonna go in there and strike with this kid. He could put me away. I'm not fast enough right now. I need to get back into the flow of things, right? But I think he needs to like do something, man. Get some. I don't know if he can take painkillers and shit like that, but he needs to get the knees a little bit better. Start hitting some squats and shit. I don't know if that helps with his knees, but I don't like. I need to be able to see a little bit better movement, side to side movement. I don't know if it's called ladder movement. You get my point though. Yeah, like side to side, being able to cut off the cage. Because right now I'm just seeing forward and backwards movement. I'm not seeing enough like I'm not seeing that like, and that's when he does his best work, man. I think if when Usman can move side to side a little bit better, that's when he opens it up. You know, he can dip that bald head of his and headbutt you in the chest and just like throw it straight right down the pipe. If you look at when he knocked out Jorge Masvidal, right? Was it freaking Jorge? But you get my point. When he knocked out Masvidal, right? He just stepped through. You know, just stepped through, and the whole time he was walking, Masvidal was kind of moving, and Usman just moving to the side, catching him there with one straight there, with one jab there. You know, so I think Usman needs to work on his side to side movement. But yeah, the next fight I would like. I don't think Joaquim is done. By the way, I really don't. I think this right here won't happen again. A wrestler being able to do that to Joaquim won't happen again. And you know what? I'm truly happy that this happened with someone that he looked up to, like Kamaru, right? And that he's not that. I'm pretty sure he's pretty angry at losing, but he's not like devastated about losing to them. You know, because he does look up to him, right? And nobody's gonna hold this one against him because it's freaking Kamaru. And Kamaru, you could see that he has it. He's saying like, I need to get this monkey off my back. I think the title run for him begins now. I think within one more fight, he should be fighting for the title. I think the UFC needs this. They need one of their old names to come back to give us a reason to watch the fight. You know, and so I think next for sure Usman should fight Bilal Muhammad next 100%, and then we should see about a title shot depending on who wins JDM or Islam. Next, I think not Ian Gary. I think Joaquin Buckley should step down a little bit. You know, maybe fight Carlos. Maybe fight what's his name? Carlos Prates, whatever his name is, right? Just take a little bit step down in the competition to someone that you know you can win, you could beat. Someone you know, like 100%, you know you could beat, right? Because yeah, man, just step down, fight Carlos Prates or whatever his name is, right? Just get something, just get your feet back under you. You know, get your shit back together, get your feet under you. I wouldn't say fight Ian Gary next either, as much as I do want to see Buck versus Cook. Just take a little bit less of a fight, pad your stats a little bit, get your confidence back up, get on the wrestling, which I know he's gonna do already. And I don't think this is the last we've seen of Joaquin. I don't. I think he has the motivation, and he's strong. I don't think he's in his prime yet either. I think we're about to see the evolution of Joaquin Buckley from that loss, because that's always been his weakness, right? At first, when he came in, his gas tank was a little bit of his weakness. He fixed that immediately. We can see now he's not getting tired that much. He's moving now, right? He got the hands, right? He was never shitty at wrestling because he's just naturally strong. But against a guy like Usman that's super strong and like really talented in the wrestling, and I think we were forgetting that Usman knows how to wrestle, right? So I think Joaquim's gonna level up, man. I think this was what he needed. I'm glad it happened against Usman and not freaking Bilal. That's gonna like talk about it for the rest of their freaking lives. I think Usman's gonna be like, yeah, I beat him, and I think Usman knows that this won't happen again. I think we all know that this won't happen to Joaquim again. I think he's really gonna level it up this time. I think, and I'm glad it happened with someone like Usman because it was bound to happen, right, with the wrestling, right? And I'm glad it happened against someone like Usman, and we didn't give. Because let's be honest, we know Buckley's better than In my heart, I believe Buckley is better than Bilal Muhammad. But he wasn't as well rounded as Bilal, because Bilal, let's be honest, he can take a shot, he can strike a little bit, right? But he has really good wrestling, right? Overall, Buckley has a lot more potential to be a better athlete than Bilal, and this is what he needed to level up. So yeah, that was the card. Next week we have Jamal Hill versus Roundtree. God, I love watching Jamal Hill get scorched, man. That's it. I'm getting off on that one. I love watching Jamal getting scorched. I love it. And I love it. But okay, let's move on from this one. That was the card. I have another one I want to post like tomorrow or so on Justin Gaethje, delusional Justin Gaethje, CTE Justin Gaethje. But yeah, let's get into that one, man. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.